Welcome to a quick RPG in a box tutorial. This is going to be a different kind of tutorial because in this video I don't want to talk about anything specifically to do inside RPG in a box. I want to talk about a feature that the community might want to be made aware of because it can be really useful. So one of the concerns that I see quite a lot in the community is when RPG in a box is updated, it can sometimes break games that you're working on, right? You've got a game you're working on, it's working fine, and then the next build of RPG in a box comes out, I don't know, the version that adds block bench support or something like that. And all of a sudden, your project now does not work, or there's bugs in it that weren't there before. So you kind of wish that you hadn't updated. Now, one way around that is to just not update RPG in a box, which I think most people do. But what if it does get updated? Are you stuck? The answer is no. There is a way to roll back to any version of RPG in a box. And I'm going to show you in this video how to do it because it's a hidden feature that not many people actually know about. And this is useful not just in RPG in a box. If you are a Steam user, you can use this for any game you own, which is fantastic. But it's an underutilized feature, and I think it's worth bringing to people's attention. So I'm going to show you the feature, but also tell you how to use it. Okay. So for this, we don't actually need RPG in a box, but I will just, while I have it open, let me just click the About page so I can show you that currently I'm on version 1.4.3.3, June 20th, 2026. This is, as far as I'm aware, the latest version. This is fixing things to do with Blockbench. So this is the latest current build of RPG in a box. Okay, but let's pretend that I've got a project that's now not working properly in this version of RPG in a box. So what you can do is you can close RPG in a box, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring your attention to Steam. Now, obviously, this video is for Steam users only. This is one of the benefits of Steam over things, unfortunately, like Epic, and I think Itch probably depends if Justin allows you to do this. I don't know if there are versions on Itch, but certainly on Steam, because this is something that Valve offers rather than each developer having to do this. This is one of the benefits of Steam. You'll notice that at the very top of the Steam page, we have 4 categories. We have Store, which is obviously the store page where you buy games from. Library, where your games are, where you can play your games. Community, where the community is, some chat. Workshop, that kind of stuff. And then your account. So things that your activity and stuff like that. Now, there is actually a 5th hidden category, but you have to type something very specific to bring it up. So let me show you how you do that. First thing you want to do is bring up a Chrome browser. I think you can do this in File Explorer as well, but you just need somewhere where you can type. So the address bar in an internet browser will work. So in my case, I'm using Chrome. So I'm going to start by typing the word Steam, and then I'm going to type colon, I think it's colon, // and then you type the word nav, N-A-V, /console, and then press enter. When you press enter, this pop-up should come up asking you to open Steam, because you're basically requesting Steam to open by typing this code. But you've told it to open with something called console. So if we click this, now you'll see that my Steam has an extra category that wasn't there before, which is the console, which means we can actually type things into Steam. Now, this is a more advanced use of Steam, so which is why it's hidden away, tucked away, so most people don't sort of worry about having to use it. But it has a lot of use, and one of those things is for the very thing I'm going to show you today. So, how is this going to help us fix our currently bugged out project because RPG in a box is updated? Well, what we can then do, once we've opened up Steam with the console, is we can navigate to a different website, and the website is steamdb.info. Press enter, and it'll take you to this website. And this website is the database of everything on Steam. So this isn't just everything that is currently on there. This is everything that's ever been on there. That's one of the greatest things about this. There are games that are no longer listed on Steam that are still on here. So in our case, we want to type RPG in a box. Now up comes 2 listings, but this is the demo. You can see by the green diagonal banner. So we want the full product. So click the link, and this will take you to the RPG in a box page. From here, you then want to click where it says depots down the side. There's 7 of them. So we'll click into that. Now, what are these? Depots are basically the full packaged content of the game. So we've got different things here. Like we've got the Windows and the Linux build of RPG in a Box. We've got the assets and export templates of RPG in a Box. We've got the Mac OS 64-bit version of RPG in a Box. So you'll need to click the version that applies to you. So because I'm using the Windows version, I'm going to click here, the base version. These are just sort of add-on packs and things. You shouldn't really need to touch those. You'll only touch these if this doesn't work for some reason. So you then download these as well. But for most uses, you just need the base product. So if we click this link, this will take us into this depot. And then the next thing you want to click is manifests. Okay. Now, if you are signed into this site, if you link this site to your Steam account by signing in, and there are secure ways to do that if you're worried about that, you can have it just detect your Steam account when you're logged into it. Or just choose not to do it. But if you do sign in, you'll get older entries, so you can go even further back. So it's possible, for example, to download RPG in a Box, the very, 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 very first launch version, right? This only goes back as far as 3 months ago. So it depends how often a game or piece of software is updated as to how far you can go back without signing in. So because there's been a lot of RPG in a Box updates, and they're reasonably frequent, or have been recently, we can only go back as far as 3 months ago. But let's just pretend that last month we had this release on the 20th of June, and it's introduced some bugs into our project. And we want to go back to, let's say, the 26th of May, okay, 2 months ago. All you do is you click this copy button here, and it'll bring up this message. And then you're going to go back to Steam, to where the console is. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to type download, all one word, _ depot. So download _ depot, all one word. Hit space, and then paste that copied thing you clicked on steamdb.info. This will have the app ID, the depot ID, and the manifest ID, which is the version you want to download. So in this case, we can delete the word app, we can delete the word depot, we can just have the numbers. So we've got download depot, space the app ID, space the depot ID, space the manifest ID. Okay, press enter, and it will download that file, 248 meg. Depending on the size of the game, this might take a while. So we'll see how long this takes. I will cut the video until it's done. Okay, I didn't need to cut the video, it's done. Okay, so then it tells you where it's downloaded it to. So in my case, program files, Steam, Steam apps, content, the app ID, the depot ID. Okay, so then what you do is you go to your file explorer and you go to that folder. So in my case, C, program files, Steam, Steam apps, content, and then there's the app ID, there's the depot ID, and there's the RPG in a Box PCK. That's the file you download from the manifest. So if we copy that and go to the installation directory of RPG in a Box, which would be program files, Steam, Steam apps, common, RPG in a Box, and then here's my current installation of RPG in a Box. All I now need to do is rename, just for backup sake, the current RPG in a Box.pck. So I'll just call this old. I'll just add old onto the end of the file name, and then paste. And now we have an RPG in a Box.pck, which is dated differently. Let's run this and just see what we get. So when you next run RPG in a Box, it should come up with the fact that it's quote unquote been updated. Yeah, see, we get this. So this is now version 1.4.3.1, May 25th, 2026, right? And it's talking about set gameplay properties and stuff. So we're now using a different version of RPG in a Box to the one that's currently out there. And to prove it's different, so here we can see it's version 1.4.3.1. I exit RPG in a Box, rename this back. Actually, let's make that new and put this back. Load RPG in a Box again. Now, instead of being 1.4.3.1, we should suddenly go back to 1.4.3.3, June 20th, 2026. So just by having access to this PCK file that I downloaded off the manifest, I can switch back and forth between different versions of RPG in a Box. And so my point being is, if an update comes, and you shouldn't need to go far back as 3 months ago anyway. The whole point of this is, if an update comes out that breaks your project or introduces bugs into your project, you only have to go back to the most recent previous update. So me going back 3 months ago probably isn't a good thing to do with RPG in a Box anyway. But it's just to show you that you can technically do that, but your mileage may vary with, whether that will just work and whether you need to download other stuff as well. But in essence, that is how you do it. So just to go over that again, you need to run Chrome or any browser, and type steam://nav/console. That will then bring up this extra 5th section on Steam, which isn't normally there, where you can access the download depot, which is done by typing download_depot followed by space. And then to get the version you want, you're going to go to steamdb.info, look up the game you want. It should be a given. You need to own the game. You won't be able to download anything if you don't own the game. Steam will block you when you paste the download depot stuff in. That will bring you to this page when you type in your game, in this case RPG in a Box. There's the app ID if you wanted to do it manually. So you could copy that and paste it. Then you need the depot ID, so you'd click depots, and then the one you're going to click on, so that one, copy that, paste it. Whoops, need a gap in between. And then once you've gone into there, click manifests, and these are all the versions. And then you go to the one you want. So let me try this one 3 months ago, 20th of April, 29th of April. So you can click that to get all of the numbers, but then you have to delete the text. Or I can just copy this and add this onto the end, like that. Again, with a space. And it will download that version. So we'll just end out by just trying this last version, just to see if I can get it back to a point where it doesn't have Blockbench anymore. Just to prove it's not cosmetic, it is actually changing what RPG in a Box is capable of doing. So Steam Apps, Content, App, Depot, grab that, cut it, go to Steam Apps, Common, RPG in a Box, paste over the top, because it was an old version anyway. I've still got the old one, and run it. And hopefully this will work. It won't misbehave. Yeah, so now we're on a version of 1.4.2.1, and Blockbench support hasn't been added back in yet. So if I open a project and I go to the model maker and I make a new model, which is mesh based, and I don't know, test, click OK, make it passable, and then I go to import external format, browse, I can't import a Blockbench file because it hasn't been added back in yet, because I'm using a version of RPG in a Box older than the Blockbench support. So this should sort of demonstrate to you how you can roll back RPG in a Box if you encounter issues. Hope this video was useful. Again, mileage may vary depending on how far back you want to go, but to be honest, if it's just an update, recent update that's introduced bugs to your project, then all you really need to do is wind back to the previous version and use that for a while until it gets fixed. So don't feel like if you've been forced into an update that all is lost, because you can roll back. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next tutorial.